All right, we're going to go back to our forecast because we have some severe weather, as you can see by that radar. Some serious stuff headed our way, and Brittany, it's going to hit overnight, either during the dark or right after being dark.
Yeah, it's going to pretty much all be out of here by the time we hit lunchtime tomorrow. So really important to have multiple ways to get warnings. We've mentioned this a few times. We kind of mention it all the time. WCNC Charlotte weather app, a great tool to have. Of course, you have those location settings turned on. Friends, family, NOAA weather radio, text messages from the National Weather Service, wireless emergency alerts, watching a stream, whatever you got to do to stay safe. Here's the current line right now, working its way through portions here of Alabama. This has a history of being deadly. Confirmation of about 20 deaths so far from this large storage system across other portions of the Deep South and the Midwest. So now that it's working its way closer to the Carolinas, yes, it loses some of its steam, but we are still expecting the potential for gusty winds, heavy rain, and even a few isolated tornadoes. Here's where it is right now. It is just about, I'd say, 8 or so hours away from the mountains. As early as 2 a.m., we could see isolated thunderstorms becoming strong to severe in that area. Here's where the tornado watches are in effect right now. There is a good chance that these could be expanded into portions of our area. Of course, we'll be first to let you know if that happens. There's where the tornado potential is highest, but we are still under a low to even medium risk all the way through 8 a.m. This goes from 8 a.m. this morning to 8 a.m. on Sunday. Then we flip the script to be actually areas along and east of the Charlotte metro. An interesting factoid that a lot of people don't think about here is that oftentimes on the back end of storm systems, if we get warm enough, if there's still enough instability, we can have a second round of storms pop off. And that is something that we are going to be watching tomorrow afternoon. So here's the latest rotation track. See, we are 6 o'clock. We, of course, are seeing this actively right now. Notice we're seeing some of that little bit of spin here across portions of the mountains as early as 3 and 4, eventually shifting across portions of the metro. It's not going to be a strong signal of formation of rotation, but we know that they can pop off very quickly here in the Charlotte area. All of it pretty much out of here on the back end of that storm. By 12 o'clock, again, I think most of the storms are wrapping up, but in the afternoon, that's when we'll have to watch that small chance of a resurgence. Here's Futurecast, 2 o'clock in the morning. As we get closer to about 5 and 6, this is when we'll start to see this approaching portions of the metro. So when we talk about metro, it's pretty much along and south of the I-40 corridor. We'll be watching for some kinks on the front end of this storm. You can kind of see that over toward the Shelby-Gastonia area by 5, and then eventually right over the Charlotte area by 8. Anytime you see these little cells that kind of look like they're popping off here, kind of kinking out, or even these little kidney bean shapes, that's when we'll start to watch that potential rotation. And then you can see by about 11 noon time, most of that is shifting away from us. But again, something we're still going to watch here. You can see that on the back end, a few pop-up storms not impossible as we get closer to 7 and 8 o'clock. On the back end, still some moisture, some colder air up in the mountains could provide an isolated chance for some snow showers heading into Sunday night and into Monday morning. So here's another look here of the severe storm impacts. Again, this is mainly overnight and into tomorrow morning, so nothing expected prior to midnight. But as early as 2 a.m., we could see some of these isolated storms developing across portions of the mountains. So here's your Guy Roofing 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, a day to stay weather aware as we are keeping that weather alert in place. Much better by Monday, as of course it is St. Patrick's Day. Many folks celebrating 62, a little bit closer to normal. We warm up again heading into Tuesday and Wednesday. Official start of astronomical spring on Thursday. And at least in the long range forecast, not a lot of opportunities for rain and storms with the exception of tomorrow. So after tomorrow, at least for a few days, you'll be able to put the umbrella away. But I just want folks to remember staying weather aware is the utmost important thing at this point as we head into that storm potential tomorrow morning.
All right, thank you for the heads up and all the information there. Brittany will be sure, obviously, to pass along information when that storm gets here. Download the WCNC Plus app on your favorite streaming device. Our team of meteorologists will be bringing you that breaking update when you need to know it. Live tomorrow morning as the severe weather comes in right into our area.